Sounds like a butt trumpet. Greetings from Skid Row's Racing. I forgot to mention what's going on in this video before I started filming it in a way that made sense. So here we are. What you're about to see has already happened from the moment that this is right now. It's almost like time travel, but digitally and economically attainable. So, if you didn't watch my last video, you should go check it out because I put headers on this car. So a little detail on this car, M52 TU, and everything's stock except it has a lukewarm air intake and the muffler had been deleted. So did the headers on there. I was hoping it wasn't going to sound too nasty. I also did an air pump delete because apparently you can do that. And then there's some other details in there too, which you'll get in the other video, such as lower O2 sensors. Don't need those anymore, so they're unplugged. Everything runs great. The car feels as powerful or more as before. And I think on track I should be seeing lower, well, it just shouldn't get as hot down there because, you know, it's a freer flowing setup for sure. So, what you're about to see is, you'll see what I thought about it when I started driving it in a little test drive, because you can't really know what it sounds like in your garage, and I didn't really want to rev it really high and make my neighbors upset. So, got on the road, drove conservative, but hit some higher RPMs under load and discovered that I hated the sound. And then you'll see what I did about it. So watch, and then again, check out that other video first if you haven't already, because that'll explain more. Or don't, I don't know. Enjoy this feature. Let's see how it sounds. It's not fully warmed up yet. I think it needs a resonator. That sounds terrible. Sounds like a butt trumpet. Ugh, that's not gonna work for me. Oh, there's a little backfire thingy, a little pop-a-roo. All right, so it sounds terrible, but it seems to run fine. Like, I cannot handle that sound, so I'm going to add the resonator I have to it, and I'm going to drive real gentle the rest of the way home so I don't have to hear that terrible sound. Well, that sounds a lot worse than I expected, so I'm going to do something about it, because I can't have this thing sounding like a VQ35. So I have this resonator right here that I rescued years ago, and the problem is, this is the tubing that's on the back of the car, and it's like so. And then this is some expandy adapty piece from something years ago. Could have been something I put on this car. It fits that nice, but it fits that so-so. Close enough, I'm going to make it work. The inlet side is actually this side, which in theory, I think that's a little smaller, so I'll just have that be the front of it, and then it'll kind of, you know, exit out, I guess. Or maybe I'll go the other way. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a slicey and put it there, and then redo the back or the forward of the two hangers. So that ought to do it, and then no more terrible sound, hopefully. Okay, so I think there's enough room on this other hanger that I can kind of scoot it over after cutting that stuff off, and this thing is going to go like there-ish. So I'm going to chop it really close to this hanger and a little past that one, and then we'll cut those off. See what happens. Try and mount it this way so that it says BMW on the bottom, because that's an OEM piece. Probably should have done it a little further away from that hanger, but whatever. Here's the collector I made, or the tip I made a couple years back. There's a video about that on here. Alright, so we're getting this thing in position, and pretty soon we'll be tacking this thing on. We can make that work. Alright, now that that's welded up, and by the way, cutting this so close to the hanger was a horrible idea. That made that a pain to weld, and I don't really like the result, but doing this in a hurry, I got somewhere to be, and I want to take the car. So now that's just slipped over, and we're just going to weld that slip joint, and then weld the other hanger on. Fitment's pretty good. It's like slightly low, but I'll pick it up a little with the other hanger. It's been melting this anyway, so just let's get a little clearance, and let's go. We will see how it sounds, dog. Alright, so I'm not even out of the neighborhood yet, and it already sounds a million times better. So here we are, got a resonator from the garbage that I think came off of an X3 on there, and now it sounds a lot more like it did when it was stock manifolds and all that with the muffler delete. Much better so far. Definitely louder than it was, but I could live with that. Just driving reasonable, but at a little higher of an RPM. But don't want to do anything too crazy on the road. Tone it down. So I'm just going to bring it up to a higher RPM at a low speed and let off and see. The little poppy thing's gone. Alright, so it's definitely a little more spicy than it was before I did all this, but I'm not upset about it. So all in all, I'm happy with the result, and I'm really excited to test it out on the track. And by the way, power and everything feels fine. I have not had a chance to like really floor it, but if I just get on it a little bit, it feels like everything's there and possibly a little more. So it definitely feels like a peppy car still, which is good because that's what I was after. Now I got to fix this blinker bolt that's bad, but that's it's low on the priority list. In a perfect world, I would have muffled it a little bit more, but I think I can live with it for now. And it's something that was free that was laying around. So thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe and all that stuff if you want to see more. Check out the header video if you haven't already. And thank you.